Hey everybody, are you up for a little bit of faux crochet with your sewing machine? Well, Jim's going to show you how. This is kind of a continuation of our sewing in circles for New Year's Eve. So, yeah. All right, James, what do we got? Look how cool that is.
Well, basically, want to flip it over now?
Yeah, you push your button up. There we go. Sorry.
Oh, the overhead.
Yeah, and if you
oh, there we go. Okay. So basically, what I started was I worked with a circle in the middle first. And I kind of got the idea after actually it was a customer that made a comment about all the things you could do. And it looked almost like a doily to her. So I thought we're going to take it up and make it look more like a doily with a decorative stitch. And I remembered when, as a kid, watching my grandmother make doilies, sometimes she would take old tablecloths that were falling apart that had hand embroidery. She would cut out the hand embroidery in a circle and then crochet around it.
Right. So you give it a little foundation. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. So I thought this is the same thing, except it's not a standalone design. This has to be on a base. So I have a dark fabric. Hi, Fran. And I have my piece of fabric attached to the top. You can use steam a seam, whatever you like to do to fuse it on. And I did a little satin stitch along the edge just to clean finish it before I started sewing into it. That way it didn't fray. And then for the stitch, pretty much, I would say every machine out there has one.
Yep, I agree.
It's like a blanket binding stitch.
Yeah, exactly.
And one thing I did though, so it didn't make too big of a jump going from the straight edge into the fabric. I have it where it does a stitch in the middle. So it sews to the right, in the middle, then to the left and back again. And that way it makes a more secure thread that's not going to catch.
All right, perfect.
And you may want to use like a heavier thread. However, not every machine likes a heavy thread in the needle.
Your bobbin thread cutter does not like a heavy machine.
No.
Not heavy thread, I'm sorry. So just spare your bobbin cutter.
Yeah, so you're not going to use your bobbin cutter for this, and you're also not going to use your needle threader. Because if your machine would take a heavier thread, you can just pop that in. However, since not every machine does that, what I did was I took 2 strands of regular sewing machine thread through the eye of one needle.
Perfect.
And that way it was a good weight for the machine. And I already have it set up over here. And I used a blanket binding stitch. Again, it looks like this, where on the right-hand side, it's going to sew a couple straight stitches. It's going to stop, and then it's going to sew 1 stitch in the middle, then 1 to the left, back again to the middle, and then to the right again, and then continue on. And what I did on mine was I increased it to the longest, almost longest length to go. It was like a 3, and the width I have it set at 5.7, thinking that as I make the circles go across, I can actually extend it a little bigger that way.
All right, hold on a second. Let's see if this works. Oh, look, the magic of almost getting things figured out. That way they can see your screen.
Yeah.
So you're on the, you know me, I'm 17, right?
Yep.
But this is a very common stitch for most sewing machines.
If you have an electronic machine, I would say look for where it has applique stitches.
Yep.
And you'll find it there.
Perfect.
And I already have my satin stitching done around the edge. And I do have my machine threaded with 2 strands of standard sewing machine thread in the needle. And I'm going to have it with the, you can see the needle went down into the right, and I'll just sew a little slower. It's going to sew a couple stitches, and then it goes in and then back in the middle again. So what I want to do is hit right into that white part. I have it stopping with my needle down so I can pivot.
So you're not using a thumbtack?
No.
Oh, you're just doing this. Oh. Even I was confused there for a minute.
Now, what I could do, if I wanted to, I could put the thumbtack in the middle, and then as I go up, I would just have to reposition the thumbtack.
Okay.
And I did that at first, but I thought, you know what? It's just as easy doing it this way and watching. Of course, if you're right in front of it, it's a lot easier. I'm looking
behind the camera.
Yeah.
Jim's angle's not too spiffy.
And the first rounds you do is it's going to take a little bit longer time.
Here, I'm gonna put the main camera on so they can see where your head is compared to the camera. So as you can see, it's like it's sewing the hard way.
Yeah.
I think we want to call it.
I've done worse before.
Yes, we've all kind of what we do for everybody. We sew blind.
And I know somebody's going to ask, can this be standalone? If you do it on a wash away, yeah, it would be, but it wouldn't have the same look of the crochet. It's more like a mesh.
Yeah, it would be very weak is the wrong word, but
Yeah.
wimpy, I think is the right word.
So I had a single bobbin thread in the bobbin and 2 threads in the needle.
Vicky's in from Snowden, Kansas, or Kansas City. Where you from, Vicky? KC? Kansas City. Yeah, it's cold here. It's the 20s here. We only got about 3 inches yesterday, which is enough for this to be Make It Tuesday for me.
Yeah.
Instead of Make It. I text Jim. I'm like, don't come in because we're closed. The retail store's closed on Mondays anyway. But that's normally when Jim and I get work done. So, but you can see we didn't get any work done.
We were snowed in.
You're so fun. It's really not sacrifice. I was curled up in bed yesterday watching TV, doing paperwork, that kind of thing. We got some exciting email going out today. We're going to have some new virtual classes. We're going to have some designs by Juju is coming. And see, we got the virtual sweatshirt classes. They're in-store and virtual. We're trying to do in-store and virtual, so we've kind of grown.
And I went a little slower because I had to match up. Now, if you want to, you could tie it off and then just move it over. I kind of cheated. I'm just going to go and lift up my presser foot over like that and just start stitching. So I just went sideways a little bit.
So you just scooted to the right.
Scoot it to the right and try to make the left one fit over that right straight stitching. Like that.
That's really kind of dizzying, actually. Like,
well, when you see it on that screen,
it's not dizzy to sew, it's just dizzy to look at. But again, this gives you the perfect opportunity for a monogram.
Yeah.
Some sort of an embroidery. And then probably what I would do, James, is I would stick this in my serger and I would just roll hem that outside edge.
Yeah.
So you would cut off your excess, finish this in a nice way.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do have kind of a faux Doily for everybody.
That's kind of how I finished that edge because I went and did the 2 rows of satin stitching.
Oh, that's great.
Just to make it look like a finished border on that. So there was 2 rows of that because if you wanted to, if you had a decorative stitch, you could add it to the edge almost like a fringe. Oh. And then if you wanted to, that could be part of a quilt top or whatever.
Right. And you could realistically just put fabric on top of it, sew your circle, and turn it. Right. You could do that.
You can do anything.
Well. Anything.
You don't even have to go and finish like the edge in here. You could do kind of like my grandmother did. She would just turn it under.
Right.
And have a folded edge and then sew over that. And of course, if you have squares or whatever, you can do the same thing with the square.
I think I did a couple Make It Mondays ago. I did the technique with freezer paper.
Yeah.
We stitched and then I just rolled it under and top stitched it. So, we can definitely going on. So, Vicky's got snowed in. Sunny Wisconsin, good for you.
Oh, thank you.
And then I don't know what sacrifices we're doing. We're very lucky as far as getting to play.
Yeah,
so that's good. Happy New Year, Doris, to you too.
Thank you, Reen.
So absolutely. So Reen and I have a collaboration coming up.
That's going to be fun.
21st. Reen, just let you know the kit should be ready for tomorrow. We've had a delay. And for those of you who are in the serger box, we've had a delay. I don't know if all the vendors just working in December and November. I don't know, but it's been
trucking.
It's been a rough year to get supplies. So,
try to stay warm, Mary Jean. Good reason to stay in and sew.
It's a great reason to stay. So the older I get, the colder I still don't wear a coat. Like this is what I had on today. It's 26 degrees. I have a t-shirt underneath of it. I'm fine. I'm not a big coat wearer, and but under around 20 degrees, it's cold enough for me to think twice. But growing up here, it's what you expect. Oh, Kentucky, that's right, got 12 inches of snow. I think that's unusual for you guys too, right? To get totally dumped on. So anyway, all right, everybody, it's a great day to stay in. I think no matter where you live in that stretch across the country, everybody kind of got whacked with the storm. There's another one coming, but it's winter, so I love the fact that people complain about it in Pennsylvania. I'm like, look, I've lived here my whole life. And this is nothing like the winters we used to have, right? 2 and 3 inches at one time is nothing. We were open last Friday, Saturday. We had some snow, and this older lady came. I could say I'm in my 60s. This older lady came in. She goes, this is nothing. I lived in Alaska for 20 years. So I just moved back here. She said, this is nothing. So she was out driving around. So it's all in perspective.
Well, I saw a great video. The lady was cleaning off her car, and as she's sweeping it off, she goes, don't deal with crocodiles, don't deal with hurricanes. Don't deal with crocodiles, don't deal with hurricanes.
Yes, we don't have hurricanes, 6-inch mosquitoes. I mean, there are things that we do not have, so which is really good. I used to be able to say tornadoes, but we've had a couple of those lately. So. Yeah. All right, everybody, enjoy your day. Go play with your doilies and enjoy something. Hi, Vicki. So anyhow, yeah, Connie, it's cold. It's cold everywhere. Yeah. Dang it. I don't know. Even Florida is suffering. Just sad. So, okay, everybody, have a terrific day, because the more you know,
the more you sow.
See you later. Don't forget to like this and send it out to your friends. Yeah. All right. Have a good day. Bye.